God body is simple. It means you see God when you look in the mirror, and that the body of man is God, and that there's no mystery God in the sky. You are God.
Yep. Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome to another episode of The Anabolic Mind, where we talk about wellness and how people integrated it into their lifestyle from all walks of life, man. So I try to get a diverse group of people on here. And with that being said, I got my first MC. I think you're my first MC on here. So that's a big deal. Yeah. That's a big deal. I'm excited. I got my first MC on here and also my boxing coach, all around great guy, J Dub. Say what's up, Jay.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? I'm J Dub. Hope y'all having a blessed day so far. Great to be here.
Hey, man, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it, man. So we can't talk about what we were talking about 2 minutes ago.
It was good though.
It was good. It's different conversation, different combo. But we're gonna talk about how you integrated health and wellness into your lifestyle and how impactful it was to you, and how important you think it is for the community. So tell the viewers where you're from, man.
So I'm from Lodi, California. It's in the 209 area code. It's about 3 miles north of Stockton, California, and it's about 30 miles south of Sacramento, California. So we're kind of in the middle of nowhere, but we're close to a lot of stuff.
What kind of neighborhood would you say it was? Tough?
Well, it depends on where you were at. But you know, my parents, they chose to get the house where they got it, and it was in not the best place in town. It was definitely the worst area of the city, and yeah, man, it was definitely a hard lifestyle to live. And it wasn't like the other side of town where it was a lot easier for, you know. So it's just all about the environment, and the environment was definitely tough.
Yeah, I know places like that where, you know, once you cross a certain block or a certain street, the whole neighborhood changes, and it's like, damn, so quick, you easily get caught up. You know, New York is like that. You turn the corner in New York,
something totally different, right?
And you get into some shit that's totally different. LA, definitely.
Same thing.
But I see you in the studio, man. So you just finished doing something?
Yeah, man. I've been working a lot here lately, and it's you know, because I'm back here at home. We don't have a lot of studios even here at home. If I want to go to a studio, I'd either have to, like a real nice one, I have to go to the Bay Area, which is like an hour away, or I go to Sacramento and stuff like that to get some of that. Yeah, man, I've just been here trying to set it up in my own spot, get it set up in my own room, and get my own audio engineering going, because I've been wanting to learn the business to the full extent, man. And so it's like, I know how to write, I know how to you know, do all that kind of stuff, but I really want to know how to start doing the mixing and mastering and just learning to be the best that I could be at the whole entire thing, man.
Got you. Let's go to your what was your diet like when you were young?
Man, so as I was growing up, it wasn't bad, it wasn't good. You know, I was in a family of three, two other boys. So you know, we kind of got what mom and pops went shopping for from the store, and we had, you know, two separate things. One was kind of more of a healthy spot, and then the other thing was more of when we kind of got desserts and when we got to, you know, have some shit that we got to mess around and eat cookies and all that type of shit. Right. My teenage years, it wasn't very good because I got put in the group homes and I was in the system very young. So, man,
what kind of food they got in the system?
Man, it's it helps you survive. You feel me? You're gonna live.
Right, you can live, right? But that's about it, right?
The sodium is off the charts, man. You feel me? Like it's horrible amounts of sodium. I mean, you're eating things that are filled with a lot of salt, and just not
a lot of preservatives, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely a lot of frozen stuff. You know, but things that aren't really going to be beneficial to you in the long run to help live a long life and things like that. And if you do, you know, it's not going to really do so much for your insides in a beneficial manner. So, you know, but it is what it is, you know, and I just had to deal with it.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. I mean, you know, I grew up in a West Indian family. My family's from Antigua. And, you know, all kinds of sugar shit, all kinds of guava cheese, not even, you know, cheese made out of milk, but cheese made out of sugar, out of fruit. Right. Cheese with some white bread, with some butter on top of the bread. very high glycemic. So I ended up 45-inch waist at 17.
Right.
15.
You're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
getting all that stuff.
But when did you get into sports? Were you active and stuff in the group home or before the group home? How did you get into boxing?
No, it's actually funny. Well, boxing came a lot later. Boxing came a lot later. I was very athletic as a young kid, but no, man, I actually got into gymnastics when I was a kid. Because the thing is that I was climbing a lot of shit, and I was jumping up on a lot of stuff as a kid, and my parents didn't know how to really do anything about it. And there was actually a gymnastics thing down the street, and I was like, oh man, I'm already jumping and doing flips. I was like, I'll try it out. So I actually did that from 3 to like 9 years old. And
wow.
Yeah, no, I did it for almost 6 years, and I did it every day. And so like by the time I was 9, man, I was doing the whole flips and the jumps, and I was on the hot bars and doing all that type of stuff.
You think that helps with your boxing? You think it transfers?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and still to this day, I can still do a backflip. I could even run up the wall right now to this day and do a backflip. So it still gave me lifelong things that I've never lost. Right. And gave me different things that a lot of other people might not have achieved or tried in their lifetime to do. So I was very flexible and very athletic at a young age and stuff like that, and doing flips and shit.
It's funny. Most of the guests that I have on here, the ones who say that they worked out when they were younger, they tend to be in better shape
today.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So if that's one message we want to get through to people is that if you got kids, start them out young and get them active. So at least, they have a reference point to knowing how to use their body and feeling like they're in shape and stuff. I think that's super important.
Correct.
What happened to me, I started going to dancing school. My dad died when I was 2, so I was doing tap, jazz, ballet, and modern, but definitely is not working in the hood.
Correct.
Once they found out in Brooklyn, right? Once they found out in Brooklyn, I was doing ballet. I was running home every day from school. I stopped dancing school, which was the only activity I had. I ended up with a 45-inch waist, and running home from school one day, I knew I wasn't going to survive. That's how I joined the Navy. But I always wonder, had my mom got me into sports, I might have been a pro athlete right now since I'm a trainer.
Correct.
I always wonder what would have happened. So, as a parent, it's always good, or even if you're mentoring, expose the youth to different types of shit, get them with my kids, if they don't want to dance for a year, I put them in swimming. If they don't want to swim for this year, I put them in tennis. I don't force them to do anything, because I think it's better to try a whole bunch of different ones and see which one resonates.
Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely, 100%. And in my town, it's so small, we didn't have very much. So we didn't have no boxing class. I think there was only one karate class. And then you had like basketball, you had baseball, and then you had the gymnastics stuff and everything. You feel me? So it was like, all right, let me try this out for a little bit. But then after I was like 9 or 10, I kind of experienced what you was talking about. Because when I was a kid, I remember having some of my homies, they were like, hey man, what you doing all those flips for? Isn't that like that sport's not for dudes and shit like that? And I was like, well, I guess. I've been doing this shit for flips and whoop, whoop, whoop all the time and shit like that. But I say it only took me another year where I just started to fall out of it. And I was like, man, I just drifted towards baseball and all that type of shit. And then I just kind of played around with what the sports that were available in my town. You feel me?
Right. So which was primarily what? Baseball, basketball, of course. And
pretty much, yeah, or football. But just is you only have one team because there's only one school or 2 teams, because I think we have a second school now. But it's just you're very limited when you don't have such a big range of options. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of just jump into what you're giving. If your parents are already going to control what you're doing, you're going to do what they're trying to throw you into. You know what I'm saying?
And that's how a lot of kids end up in trouble. They just got the idle time, and if they don't fit into the other 3 sports, but they still have that energy, they end up getting in this situation. So it's super important right now. But it's also interesting. I want to get your opinion on that. What you think about sports right now? Kids sports, I'm talking about in school, where everybody gets PT, everybody gets playtime. So in other words, the best soccer player doesn't get more time than the weakest soccer player on the team.
They're doing that now, huh?
Yeah. What you think about that?
I think it's kind of different, because that's not what I was grown up on. You feel me? Like if you didn't play well, you sat the bench. Right. And but I believe that sometimes we have to just adapt to the new ways of stuff, and And if they're given equal time, I think everybody deserves to have equal time in certain things. Now, if you're having a competitive sport or something like that, you're trying to win. Definitely, I believe the best players should be on the, trying to get there to the top. But yeah, man, I mean, as long as everybody is fair and getting a certain amount of equality, I don't have nothing against that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody should always get, good amount of play time and fair time. But, when it comes to competition type thing, that's a different story.
Yeah, I feel you. But I think that it because the sport might not be for you. Like if you on a team and you riding the bench, you're not getting picked. That's your signal, perhaps, to step your game up or try something else. So at the same time, you want to be inclusive to everybody. I think that it kind of stops the motivation or the drive of the best, actually, because that's how I used to be when I'm growing up. But I'm old. I'm old as a fuck. So it was the people rode the bench, and then you was like, damn, I want to get better so I can get some PT. So then you practice.
Correct. It was that motivation.
Yeah, it was that motivation. But it's interesting now how they do it in schools. But
yes, sir.
With the sports. So
I think schools are all changed up now. How things are and everything. So it's kind of how you they implementing a whole bunch of new stuff.
Some for the better, some for the worse. But I think the schools, when they started putting sodas and all of that shit in the schools, that was the beginning of the end, man.
Correct. And we don't think about that a lot. Yeah, because in my high school when I went, that's what we got was pizza and soda for lunch. Candies, Charlies, and all that kind of stuff. You could buy any candy you wanted.
Yes, I never understood how you could, have a vending machines in the schools that are giving your kids unhealthy shit when the obesity level is so high, especially in the hood. Right. They got the highest obesity levels and the most food deserts. Even Washington, D.C., they got the most food deserts in the United States. Food desert is where you have to walk 1 mile to 2 miles to get fruit or vegetable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the nation's capital.
I wasn't even knowledgeable. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. It's a lot of crazy shit. So that's good that people get up.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that makes sense, though. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, a lot of times you didn't have names for it back then, but you had to walk because the bodegas never had any. In New York, anyway, they never had any fresh fruit, so we didn't know. We didn't know we were in a food desert. Correct.
Right. So you became aware, right?
Yeah. You become aware later on. When did you get into the boxing?
Boxing, man. I got into boxing when I was about 24. So I'm 30 now. I've been doing it about a solid 7 years. But I sure wish I would have found it earlier. I ain't gonna lie, man. I feel that if I would have found it earlier, it probably would have saved me a lot of stress and a lot of anger problems that I experienced as a teenager. Because once I had started to implement it as an adult, I still had anger problems, you feel me, as I was becoming an adult, you feel me, and all the traumas and all the shit that I went through as a teenager and things like that. I kept going through it. So I was like, okay, I need to switch this up.
Right.
And so the boxing, once I got started to do it, I found a different way and a more healthier way to release negative energy. And it really changed my life, man. So it's a blessing that I found the boxing, or something that helped in that manner.
Right. And what about the music? When did you start? About the same time or before boxing?
Well, man, I'd always been rapping since like 13, 14 on the streets, and we was always freestyling and smoking weed and kicking it, drinking and shit on the block, and then people was always freestyling. But I had always seemed to have the best flow, and then everybody was like, "Man, you doper than everybody else, and you should do this, and we'll keep going." And I was like, "Well, man, let me get a little computer or something," and we started messing around with it. But I never really got into a real studio or a microphone until I was 18 years old, and somebody had a whole setup in their house and things like that. And my flow was fine, but my whole everything else was not there because I had no practice or understanding of how it actually worked. And then I just started to record at 18, and I've never stopped since, and I've just progressed. And as I've progressed, I've now started to implement the marketing and the other side of the business that I wasn't so aware of in the beginning myself. So,
got you. And how does your fitness enhance your art?
Oh man, completely. Without my fitness, I couldn't even bring out the best art, because if I'm not feeling good every day, if I'm not relieved of the stress, if I'm not having good energy, which all starts from going to the gym. The going to the gym relieves the depressions that I've had before. It helps to takes away the anxiety, not just from a mental standpoint, which is huge, but then it comes into my physical standpoint and who I am as a person and being strong and being able to not have to worry about any health problems. Like it's an amazing thing. And I'm so glad that I implemented it at such a young age to realize how important it is, because I see other people that I'm close to that have not implemented it, and they're suffering right now as you and I are speaking because of those decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially in the entertainment business, a lot of guys dropping off. You hear every year it's like 5 or 6 significant people in rap or hip hop, from obesity related illnesses. Because
correct.
I don't think a lot of us understand that being obese, overweight lowers your immune system, your ability to fight off other shit.
Correct.
So you end up getting caught up in other shit because you have a pre-existing condition in the first place, which is being overweight. So it's not just about a look thing, about so you can flex on people or this and that. It's actually about you want to
avoid the avalanche of negativity that will come to your body. You know what I'm saying? You're not saving yourself from one thing, you're saving yourself from many things. And I'm not sure if I had explained it to you before, but my mother, you know what I'm saying, like I had started having a relationship with her, and she was 70 pounds overweight during COVID. During COVID, she started working out and lost the entire 70 pounds, changed her whole life. But the whole thing, I mean, now she goes to the gym every day, and somebody that never went to the gym for the first 65 years of their life, and then in that first year of going to the gym, lost 80 pounds.
And she got hands now.
She got hands now. She will knock a few people out if she had to do it.
Right.
But the most amazing thing, Mark, about the whole thing is that my mother for the last 20 years has been on 5 different blood pressure medications. And she's now to this day on 0.
Wow, that's incredible.
They have been all removed by her doctors because of how much weight that she lost.
Yeah, people don't understand, man. They really don't
understand. That to me, brother, is like the most sensational and realization of how much this really works. Like if it can take away the medicine that you needed to take for years and relieve you of that,
right?
Man, what a blessing. So why are we implementing it sooner?
Peace, fam. I want to take a break from today's episode to personally invite you to the WINJECT community. This is the community where I'm hosting all of my fitness challenges, giving all of my tips, where you can interact with me and my guests. Join the community. It's 100% free to sign up, and we'll see you inside, man. Back to today's episode. Peace and love.
So that we could avoid that and then be the best self that we need to be and want to be, if we want to be that.
Yeah, that's definitely real, man. That's definitely real. That's one of the reasons why I want to have you on to really,
appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. Yes, it's amazing
experience. Yeah, man. But I want to get to another topic, not related to health and fitness, because the shit just happened. Homeboy, what's his name that got shot at Roscoe's? What's his name?
PMD Rock, right?
PMD Rock, man. Rest in peace. The rapper got shot there with the jewelry. You're from LA. I'm from New York, but I live out here, and I know there's certain rules of operating and how to move around.
I'm learning LA. I wouldn't say I'm from it, but
but you're from California. You understand the rules, the general. Not even to say you're from LA, but you're from California, so it's different here than anywhere else.
Correct, 100%.
So what you think? You think he should have just checked in, let the OGs know he was in town? He should not have been wearing the jewelry there. What do you?
I don't believe checking in. Anybody else that's on them when it comes to checking in. Me, I speak from a personal thing. I don't check in with nobody. You feel me? If I need to speak with somebody, we'll have a conversation. If they want to speak with me, we'll speak. But when it comes to somebody else, I don't believe that you need to ask another man or another person or another entity to ask how you move or how you want to move. I believe you as a person should be able to move however the hell you want. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't move smart. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we have to understand that, this is a dog-eat-dog world, and there's wolves out there, you know what I'm saying, in this world. And so if you
you got a couple 100,000 on you.
Correct. And I'm saying you could be able to live however you want to live, but the way you want to live sometimes comes with those wolves trying to attack or get what you got. So it's like it's up to you to be aware of that, and if you want to move like that, be aware of your environment. I just think that yeah, you got to really be understanding of your circumstances, your environment, what's going on around you, and what you're doing, because not everybody's going to be a sheep. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to you. What are you going to be? Are you going to be a sheep, a wolf, or a sheepdog? You know what I'm saying? And I see myself more as the sheepdog. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one where you ain't going to fuck with me.
Right.
You know right. So it's like, as long as you leave me right, we're going to be all right. But you got to understand, sometimes you might put yourself in that position. You know, and again, one time sometimes is too many. So you got to be on point 100% of the time, all the time. And it's unfortunate. Rest in peace to his soul, his family. I hope that their family is able to deal with that in the most sincerest of ways. And that all my condolences to him. But yeah, it's tough out here, and it's a repetitive thing that happens. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a rapper. I know how it goes. I see it all the time. So
that's why I wanted you to speak on it, because you're coming from a point of view where I can't really,
Correct. Yeah, I understand 100%. And so it's like, even once I have chains like that, or the ability to have those type of chains, sure, I'll wear them. But that doesn't mean that I'll always wear them in certain locations. You know what I'm saying? Because of the environments that I'm at. You have to be aware of certain things, and there's a time and a place for everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real. And maybe that wasn't the best place to be flossing like that.
Yeah, and we got to balance. Life is all about balance, and if we're not balancing our flossing, if we're not balancing our whatever it is that we're doing, that sometimes will put us in a circumstance that will.
Yeah, that's real. I have female clients. And I always tell them, they're like, Mark, we finished the training. I'll be like, listen, you need to do some cardio, and they'd be like, okay, I'll jump on the treadmill. I always tell them, rather than that, why don't you go take a boxing class and learn something that you could that could save your life, or a self-defense class or a jiu-jitsu class, as opposed to taking a Zumba class or a spin class where that can't really help you in the actual situation.
Correct.
So, I think now,
that's fantastic advice. Like to me, that's fantastic advice.
Piggyback on what you're saying, you got to be. It's the times. You got to take precautions. So I think everybody now, male, female, they need to learn some type of.
For sure. Yeah, and the thing is, we're not always going to be in a situation where we can have a weapon. You're not going to always be in a position where you can protect yourself with something other than your own two fists or your own hands. And so it's up to you to be able to, again, that's being your best self. You know what I'm saying? Being your best self is being able to do multiple things. And if you're able to then implement these qualities into your lifestyle, into your body, into your mentality, it might save you from a situation where you're like, damn, I don't have any confidence in myself. I'm not going to try to protect myself right now because I don't know what I can do, compared to, oh, damn, I'm in a situation. I need to know that I can take this person out right now. Damn, I've been practicing this shit every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because this stuff does happen. It'd be different if that stuff never happened. You don't need to worry about it.
And it happens at random. It might not even be something that you did.
Correct.
This is what's so crazy about the society right now. You might just be caught up in a situation, but in addition, I always tell my clients, I'm like, listen, you can do all this gym shit you want, but you need to be able to run a mile straight.
Correct.
You need to be able to run a mile without stopping at full speed. And they'd be like, why, Mark? I'd be like, yo, you going to the gym 3-4 times a week? You can't run a mile? Something's wrong.
Correct.
You might have to get away from somebody.
Correct. 100%.
Which is even more important than self-defense.
Right.
You might have to
run.
So these two things, if you can't basic self-defense, then if you take 2 or 3 in the face, at least, damn, he ain't gonna catch me. I can turn around and just get the hell out of this situation. But if you can't do 1 or 2 in this type of society, you need to evaluate that.
Yes, sir. And I think that a lot of people forget that most wolves don't want to attack other wolves. They want to attack sheep. So it's up for you to gain the qualities of a wolf. It's up for you to gain the qualities that are going to help you to fight off these attackers, to stay strong to where you're not an easy target. It's up to you to be that person, because if not, you're just making yourself an easy target, and it's more likely for you to have those things happen to you. And then depending on how your mentality is, if you're always thinking that something negative is going to happen, or you have a fear of it happening to you, and most likely is, and then when it happens, you're not prepared, and then you're extremely fucked. So it's like, again, it's up to you to realize it and then just implement it. You know what I'm saying? We can all learn it. It's all habit. You know what I'm saying? Don't think that just because you weren't born with something that you can't get it. It's all habit. If somebody can lose 80 pounds and learn how to do something in 1 year that they've never done, you can learn how to box in a month, 2 months straight, 3 months straight. If you said, hey, I'm going to do this every day until I get it right. You're human just like I am. I'm no better than you. You're no better. You know what I'm saying? We're all human. So, you know what I'm saying? I've just put in a little bit more work in a certain area, just like you. That's it.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
to do that.
So how do you balance, like, let's say you're writing an album, right? So how do you balance the message? Because, obviously you're very positive. I know you personally. How do you balance the positivity with the gangster shit in order for it to resonate? Because you got to have a little gangster shit in there to actually get people to listen to the shit. How do you, when you're looking at your album, do you say, okay, I'm going to do 3 songs, some gangster shit, one I need love shit, and then
really, brother, like that's a great question. Like, and it's even a question I ask myself sometimes, because where I'm from and what I'm so used to in the Bay Area sound and the LA sound, all that kind of stuff. It's like you can get stuck in a box quick where you're just rapping about the same stuff. And
because one thing with your music is that you touch on a lot of different subjects, and that's what I like about your music.
Thank you.
You have the one in the party clubs. You talk about drinking too much or this or that.
I want to change it. I want to be versatile in all these different ways, because that to me is where I'm like, okay, I want to be about music. I want to be the most creative artist that I can be, because what happens is, in the past, when I was trying to be the more, I'm gonna start the streets and everything that I'm showing the streets and whoop, and I'm really implementing, even though I'm telling my story, I was telling it more in the negative way, where it's like I wasn't very conscious about some of the things that I was expressing, and that when I was expressing it, I was actually bringing these negative situations to my life again on a repetitive basis, because I was actually putting that energy out there by speaking on it. So I had to.
That's a great point you just said.
And if you think about all the my favorite rappers, a lot of other rappers that I know, that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of them that have spoken about dying in their music, 90% of them are dead. You know what I'm saying? Because they released that negative energy out into the world. And when you now record it, it's when we say we speak something into existence, you're speaking it, right? But now I just recorded it into existence.
And it's going over and over again.
Correct. Now you're repeating that energy on a consistent basis, and we don't understand how powerful that is. So, I had my last album that I had kind of fell back into this street thing, because I went through some things personally, and I was like, feeling some resentment at some things. And I was like, okay, I can fall back into my ways a little bit. I was like, let me just make the album on it, because I'll release it in this healthy way. I'll go do some more boxing. I'll go do all this. I won't go hit the street like how I normally would have gone hit the street and really try to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I try to change how I was doing things before, and then that way I could release it on a better way. So now, as I implement this new music that I got going on, I really want to implement a lot more of, like we're talking, the positivity and the things like that, in a way where, yes, it's still street, where it still resonates with the street, but we're not over here displaying things of a violent nature, where it seems like we're not trying to uplift somebody. I want it to be more of a street type of thing, where I'm uplifting instead of more talking about the negative aspects and what you might encounter when you're around the things that I've been around. You know what I'm saying? And it's just being more precise about the words and putting them in a way that is again is in a different light. And so that's why I'm excited for this next album, because I'm not in that same mindset that I was. Right. And I've really had to sit back, and I had to do my own, mental adjustment. And I said, okay, I don't want to be out here spreading more negative energy. If I want to talk about what I talk about and be what I be about, I need to implement that in my music in the correct way too. So I really appreciate you asking that, because it's actually something that I'm dealing with right now as we speak on. Okay, I know where I'm gonna go with it, but it's like that fork in the road, you know, of what you're used to.
Yeah,
Like, oh damn, I wanna do something different and see where this goes, because this is gonna be that new growth. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, hey, I'm just gonna be complacent.
And what kind of feedback you getting?
Man, so far everybody's digging it. You know what I'm saying? And I have one that I'm about to start, two actually, that I'm gonna start recording with these new type of sounds, and that people are really liking it so far. They're really excited for me to get it going. I'm really excited for me to get it going. It's more uppity. It's more that, you know what I'm saying, club sound, and but it just really fits my flow, and it really brings out that uplifting type of feel, man. So it's like, I'm excited for it, man.
That's what's up. I'm happy to hear that. Who's your biggest influence as a rapper or MC? Name three MCs that influence your flow.
So for sure, my first number one is Mac Dre.
Okay.
I'm a Bay Area, and everything from that whole era and the Diz Nation and all that stuff. That's real fun. So Bay Area, that's for sure. If you said the second one, I'd have to go East Coast and go with my man 50 Cent, man, because I fuck with 50 big time, because I just really relate to him in the sense of how I lived my life in a fearless way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a kid, man. I was in the streets 13, 14, running with cats 25, 26, you know, and they were all black dudes. You know what I'm saying? I was the only white dude surrounded by black dudes and Mexican cats. And
how was that, man? How was that?
Man, I had to prove myself, man. I had to do a lot of things to show that I could stay and kick it, you know. And then but again, it was like, I think that's what it was, is, you know, people can always read and understand body language or know when somebody's doing something, you know. So it's like, people could tell I wasn't afraid, and they were like, damn, he really out here. I'm like, well, who got a blunt? You don't got a blunt? I got a blunt. What's up? Roll it up. They're like, how old is you? I'm 13. What's up? Like, you know, I just had this attitude where it was like, they were gonna accept me whether or not they wanted to. You feel me? And then once they did, it was just like, everywhere I went, you know. And that's the thing, is I never gang bang. Everybody around here where I'm from, they're all gang bangers. You feel me? See, you pick a side of color, and me, man, it's crazy how I was able to dodge that. You feel me? I don't know how, but just I was, and I think it was the fearlessness, because I had times people were like, man, what's up, man? Be a blood, man. I had other dudes that was, what's up? Join, be a Crip with us, man. Or you could be a Northerner. I pretty much could have been any type of gang member I wanted to be if I would have chose that. You know what I'm saying? But I saw the limitations. I saw the issues that my closest homies were having. I saw the things that were still having to deal. I'm just like, wait, let me just implement something else, you know? And I kept telling people, nah, man, y'all do what you do. I don't do that, but I'm just J Dub the hustler, and I'm out here getting my money. What's up? And then people started to understand, oh no, J Dub don't fuck with he don't fuck with the colors, you know what I'm saying? Just leave him be. He ain't gonna do it because he's on his own money shit. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, because I was fearless in my action of talking about it, they left me alone. It was the fearlessness of it, to where, like, I saw other dudes, they were kind of scared, and they were like, oh man, I'll do it, whatever. And then now they're stuck being in some shit because they didn't, you know. So
they chose to conform.
That's why I really relate to 50 like that, in the sense of the fearlessness and shit like that.
Who's your MC number 3?
Man, MC number 3.
You got Dre, you got 50. I wasn't expecting you to mention the East Coast rapper.
Yeah, no, and I have to come back to E40 though.
Okay, all right.
And I had to come back to E40 just because, you know, I always looked up to him as a lyricist. You know what I'm saying? And somebody that was just, the way he spit and the flow was just
one of the most original.
Yeah, I'm like, what type of flow? It was so like original. Where like people weren't really messing with it at first. You feel me? And then when I heard, I was like, I kept trying to respit his stuff, but it was so fast for me. That's what got me. I'm like, oh, I can't even spit dude's stuff. It's too fast. All right, he's tight. Like, I just want to hear some more. And then I just started listening to more E40, and Mac Dre, and, you know, all this type of different Bay Area sounds. And I always, you know, dipped in and out with the different artists. But those 3 would be the main artists that I really listen to on a consistent basis and try to, you know, either be like as a rapper or was relatable to in the streets and how they live their life.
That's cool. Those are 3 good ones. E40, you know, he's funny because he's super underrated, but, you know, a lot of people don't know most of the slang that you heard in the last, you know, 10, 15, 20 years came from fucking E40's raps. That just people
for sure.
because he makes up his own, and it became like standard, slang. So many words. There's so many shit that E40 invented. You can't even. It's crazy. But I'm really surprised to hear people say 50. But everybody, I guess, respects 50's work ethic. Even the West Coasters, they like, okay, they mess with 50. But 50.
And that's a kid.
Great songwriter. Great songwriter.
Yeah, absolutely. And the work ethic, man, it's really the work ethic. It's the way he lived his life, with this fearless attitude, and and I'm not saying others didn't have that as well, but it was just the way that it was projected, where I was like, I did a lot of that same shit just in that exact same type of way. And I kind of had that same type of method. So then it's like when I listen to the music, if you hear some of my hood shit, like, and my hood songs, like, they're very similar in a type of sense of the same things that 50 Cent might say or go through, I mean, not so much of the same flow, but, definitely the circumstances and the things are very similar. And so
that was a great answer, but it definitely threw me for a curve for that. But I want you to comment on this, what I'm getting ready to say, this statement now. Like, when people hear gangster rap or they hear people talking street shit on an album, it's supposed to be so offensive. Like me, if you listen to the stuff that I'm playing on my Instagram, I'm getting a lot of DMs. Yeah, yo, Mark, the content is great, but why do you have this song behind this positive shit that you're doing? And I'm like, yo, you have to understand. I'm from Brooklyn in the 80s, where I was walking to school, stepping over crack vials. This is the music.
This is what you're comfortable with.
Right. This is how I grew up. This is a real shit. So I say that I just want you to piggyback on that, because I don't think people understand who hear gangster rap, who haven't lived or had that type of experience. I hate to even say gangster rap because it's such a bullshit expression, but just real shit.
Yeah, for sure.
On a record. I'll put it that way. They'd be like, yo, because they didn't experience that, it seems like, whoa, why would he be rapping about something so negative? But if that's your experience, I think people need to understand at the same time, that's art. I also feel like the artist should have a balance on this record.
Correct. So I agree. I think that depending on how you flow in your lyrics, it's street poetry. You know what I'm saying? And when you're speaking about the streets, I mean, you're telling an art form of what you're seeing. I mean, you ain't seeing nothing but these negative things on a daily basis. I mean, I see tweakers. I see people getting caught up. I mean, right. It was just, there's gunfights in front of my mama house. You feel me? That I can't even get to my mama house because people just had a big old gunfight in front of you know what I'm saying? Like, these are consistent things that don't just happen one time. These are things that happen Tuesday, Sunday, Wednesday. It's something different. Sometimes the same thing. Sometimes it's like that kind of comes back to the whole the what we was just talking about. Why we are trying to implement different lyrics, but at the same time, it's like
this is really happening.
That's the challenge. The challenge is, how do we implement different lyrics when this is all we see on a daily basis? How can we turn this negativity into a positive lifestyle so that when we speaking on this negativity, it's not implementing it as something cool to the youngster that's listening to it? How can we get it across to the youngster that's listening to it that, hey, man, I don't want you to repeat it.
Right.
I'm just letting you know that it can get this bad, or it is this bad, or you already know that it's this bad because you're dealing with it as a youngster already. You know what I'm saying? But that's where it can get tough, because when we hear something, it's habit. You know what I'm saying? So whether we hear something negative or positive, it's a habit. So if we hear more negative shit, even though you're telling the truth about it,
right, it pulls you
still hearing negative shit. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I think that I'm in such a blessed moment to figure out how to come with something dope.
Yeah, and
where I can implement both things in a way that still relates to the streets, and they can understand. But then, hey man, this is a different way that you can think and be mental and be strong, not just in your body, but in your mind, your spirit, and soul. You know what I'm saying? To the point where you can implement different habits. Your emotions can be mastered, you know what I'm saying, to where you have the best relationships with different people on a daily basis, where your communication skills are at the utmost highest. You know what I'm saying? Where you're not running into resentments and different problems with people because you know how to live your life on this more positive level instead of this lower unconscious level of thinking. You know what I'm saying? You're seeing that there's a different way to do it. And that's the things I'm going through right now, you know? So it's like, I want to be able to implement those same things in myself that will help others. But I also have to remind myself that I have to show it, because when I tell it, people don't really get it. You know what I'm saying? And so rapping is different. Now, when I spit it through some music, that's different. And now if I try to speak one-on-one with somebody about it, you know, up front, it's a little bit harder for them to get it because sometimes they're not ready to receive the message that you're trying to get. Right. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people ain't ready to receive the message, you know.
Peace, fam. Before I end today's episode, I just wanted to answer a question I frequently get asked. Number one question, how can I get my content out there? How can I interact with my audience? And my answer is always WINJECT Studios. This is where I'm getting all of my stuff edited. This is where I'm posting all of my challenges. This is where I'm interacting with all of my fans and followers. This is where I'm giving all my fitness tips. This is where all the people, all of you people can interact with the people who I'm interviewing on the podcast. You can get better insight. I suggest you do the same thing. It's 100% free to sign up, and I'll see you back inside. Thanks for watching.
As a trainer, definitely.
You know that.
I know that. What's the most vulnerable shit you've ever said on the record? Like, what's one thing that you really expose yourself? Like, damn, I don't know if I want to other people to hear that.
No, I think more just like just like heartbreaking shit where, like, you know, I just did things like in my past in certain relationships. There's some females in the past that I didn't treat very well. You know, and I kind of was honest on a few records and stuff like that about how I had treated them or how I just wasn't a good person at those times and stuff like that. I think those are the most just vulnerable that I really did, or, you know, that they really, you know, because everything else has always just been on some street shit, you know, or just kind of was been on that. So, nah, man, I just realized I have to forgive myself for that stuff, though.
Are those records harder to write, or?
Yeah, definitely. Now that you, as they are definitely harder to write because you got to dig deep, you know what I'm saying? And then you got to be honest with yourself. And you know what I'm saying? Being honest with yourself is a difficult thing. You know, a lot of us spend a lot of our time being dishonest with ourselves about things, you know what I'm saying? And we don't want to talk about the things that we are doing wrong, or, you know, and so once I had started to sit back and go, you know what? I don't want to lie to myself anymore. When I start having that feeling of, oh, I'm going to say something to myself, but I'm really feeling that ain't right. Oh, that's me lying to myself. Okay, let me do something. So once I started not doing that, I was like, okay, this is a lot easier for me to just be honest. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll be honest. I'll let it out in a healthy way. I'll stop beating myself up about it, because beating myself up about it don't fix nothing. You know what I'm saying? And just realizing that the reasons that I was making those type of decisions is because I was not being the best person that I could have been. I was unconsciously aware of those even things that I was doing wrong because I wasn't putting the effort in or the time in to learn that there's a better way. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. All I had was negative thinking. So that's all I could implement at that time was a negative way.
So I see you're real big on mindset. Just this interview, talking to you, how much of that are you putting into your music? Do you talk about that as much?
Man, like that I'm telling you, huge now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I really wasn't doing it as much in the beginning, but as much as I started now becoming more, because again, it wasn't comfortable with me. It's a new thing even for myself. You know what I'm saying? Because at first I was so used to negativity. I was so used to all this stuff. So I'm like, oh, I'd rather spit negative shit. You know what I'm saying? But now that I started to recognize, okay, there's a different way I could have, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm like, I can implement this as well now into my music, to the point where now let me speak to you about some real shit. And some of the life situations that have happened to me, I've been able to then implement that into my songs where people understand and say, oh, damn, that's some real ass shit. And he's spitting some facts about what he's been going through, where I've been through that same shit too, and maybe I should have done that instead. But because I'm now consciously awoke about different things and understanding about how to come into situations on a different mentality, you know what I'm saying? So it's a big part in the music of changing that. Like on some like Nipsey Hussle, man. That's why I really like Nipsey Hussle too. saying? Because he really be spitting stuff where it's like he's not just rapping for you, but he almost he's schooling you at the same time. You know what I'm saying? He trying to teach you something that you got some wisdom.
Right.
You got some wisdom in a gangsta ass way.
He gave you the pros and the cons.
Correct.
He just didn't talk about, talk about what could happen when the shit goes wrong as well. So, that I appreciated about Nip.
Mm-hmm.
What was I going to ask? What'd you eat today?
Today, see what I had biscuits and gravy today. I had some sausage and orange juice so far. So a little breakfast. That we did some boxing this morning. We did a little bit of cardio. I've been doing all my workouts early in the morning. Just helps.
What's your workout regime looking like right now? Your regimen? What you doing?
So we was going too much on the cardio. We was trying to implement cardio every day, and I think it started to just be a little bit too much. So we just cut back. We started going like 4 days a week on cardio.
What kind of cardio?
So in the mornings, it just depends. We'll do like 250 flights on the stairs. And that'll take us about a whole hour. So we'll do a whole hour, no stopping on the stairs. Or we'll switch it up, either a treadmill or we'll go run outside and we'll do that for a whole hour. And then we have some different boxing cardio running type things. I think I might have shown you a few before, and we'll do that and implement those as well. And then just the boxing stuff. So pretty much just
are you pumping? What about the weights?
Oh yeah, for sure. So we've been doing the cardio. Do the cardio first, get that hour done, and then we'll do another hour of weights, and we'll lift. And then it just depends on if we want to switch the boxing for lifting for that day. Because when we box, we go hard. So, 1 hour of boxing really doesn't get a lot of stuff done. So we want to get at least 2 in. And yeah, man, we've been going hard. We've been going from like 5:30 to 8:30 in the morning. So, and we get a nice little 3-hour thing in. But when I get back home, we have the breakfast, we get our reading in, you feel me? We do a little positive affirmation, stuff like that. And it just gets the energy right and the mentality for the rest of the day, man. I'm telling you, the clarity and the focus is undescribable. Where when I don't do that stuff, my day
goes different, right? Yeah, me too.
You feel it, man. You feel it where your day is just not the best that it could be. I know I say that a lot, but I feel like that's the statement I just have to use repetitively for people. It's like, you got to be the best that you can be. It's got to, whatever it is, it's got to be the best that it can be. So it's like, whatever you're doing, you've got to eat right. That's the only way the best that you can be is by eating right. You know what I'm saying?
That's the only way you can get out your situation, man, is to elevate, is to actually change your own vibration. So I definitely feel what you're saying.
And then that's a habit.
Yeah. Hey, man, what's the name of the album, bro?
So I don't got a title yet. No, I just got for this one, the Blood and Tears. I just dropped this Blood and Tears. We were thinking about maybe working on the Blood and Tears 2 at the same time, which is another EP. But for like this new album, I haven't got no name yet. I'm still kind of working on that.
How many songs in are you?
So far I'm just one. We just started collecting all the beats. So I haven't got to do anything else more than just the organizing of getting it together. Which ones are we going to use? And then which ones are we going to start implementing some videos and things too? Which one will we record first? So it's just the organizing process, but it's dope because we're really jumping into the new sound. We're jumping into these new beats, and it's really just different. So it's going to be a dope thing, man. It's going to be dope.
Yeah, I know a lot of artists I trained in the past, and I may have gotten them in incredible shape. Some,
I'm sure you have, man.
Some super crazy, some not so good, but some super crazy. And, a lot of them have resentment because they felt like, damn, my music can't get accepted because of the way I look. So they didn't enjoy the process. And it turned out, and subsequently after the project, they got out of shape. A lot of times different artists. What do you, what do you say to an artist? Because I know, you want to get evaluated on your work, not your appearance. What would you say to an artist about maintaining his health and appearance and how that impacts his success as an artist?
Man, it's the name of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Everything is visual, right?
And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like everything else, man. It is what it is. You know, and it may not be what you want it to be, but yes, that's what it is. People are by looks. People are by visual. They want to see something, and if you don't look to how people think that you're looking, they're not gonna sometimes accept it. You know, if a comedian don't look funny, he might not be accepted. You know what I'm saying? So I think it has a lot to do with it. But again, it's like,
and it's
why,
not just
why is it hard though? You know, if we're trying to be our best self, and you trying to, you know, get yourself to be the best you, why not make it the gym to where you're always implementing it, where you are being your best self, where whether you're not, you know what I'm saying, doing any artist stuff, whether you are on tour, you always got that shit going. You're taking the damn gym with you in the trailer because you got to make sure to be your best self. You got to make sure that you living right.
Even if you're not an artist, I tell my regular people, I say, yo, you're the star of your own show.
100%.
You are the artist of the whatever your name is show.
You're the most important person in the world.
Which is your life. Treat yourself accordingly. Make sure you're in the best shape. But you know, even, you know, it was so funny. I used to train Johnny Cochran before he passed, right?
Oh wow!
And Johnny used to train like 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning.
That early?
I used to go to train him 4 a.m. and Johnny would be on the treadmill. You know, he's like 60 something, warming up. Like he'd be ready. Like I was always on the treadmill for 40 minutes. Let's go work out. And I'd be like, God damn. Yo, and I said, look at him. I said, God damn, Johnny. I said, you're not even an athlete. You already paid.
Right.
You know, you're famous. You know, why are you getting up so early to do this shit? Like you're 60 something. And he's like, you know what? I feel like I can impose my will when I'm in that courtroom after I just worked out. The confidence that it gives. He goes, nobody else might not know, but I'm feeling like I did something underneath this suit.
100%.
And then I'm able to perform better. So even if you're not an artist or recording, you know, there's a certain benefit that you get just from the confidence and the endorphins, because now you're putting out the energy because you've strained, you released all your negative energy.
Correct.
You're releasing that positivity without even knowing this intangible advantage you get from having that, no matter what your occupation is, you know.
Correct.
So it's interesting. I even tell business people, you know, like most Fortune 500 CEOs have personal trainers, and there's no CEO of a Fortune 500 company that is obese.
Yeah, and
I know it makes them more money.
Correct.
Just being in shape, you know.
It uplifts your mood.
Mm-hmm.
It naturally makes you happier. You know what I'm saying? If you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling sad, go to the gym for a little bit. It will actually make you start feeling better for a little bit, because that's what it's supposed to naturally do. This stuff will naturally make you more happy or release that depression. It will do those things because it's helping you to be a better you every day. You know what I'm saying? And you feel good about yourself after you're done with it because you accomplished something and you know that it was a positive thing that you were able to implement for yourself that day. And it naturally makes you feel better.
Yeah, that's real shit. So if people want to get at you, man, how can they get at you? What's your IG? Let's give them all the stuff. So
my IG is JAY_official. You can find me on there. YouTube at JAY_DUB209 at youtube.com. And I'm on everywhere: Spotify, Apple, all platforms. Got new videos dropping every couple of weeks right now. I've been trying to
you do keep it rolling. You got to do video out like every crazy.
I'm really implementing the 2 to 3 week thing right now, so you can always expect a new video from me every couple of weeks. I just want to keep it stocked for y'all with some good music all the time, man. And now we just got this new stuff that we're gonna start dropping, and these new singles on a consistent basis, and just implement this positivity, implement this growth. I've been over here taking care of my family and my folks and stuff over here, but looking forward to getting back to LA soon and being over there full time, man, so I can getting the music, start pushing every more, because again, like I said, the studios are over there right down the street.
I need you. I can slip a little bit now.
All right, we're gonna slip. I
got a little bit of slip, got a little bob and weave thanks to you.
Yeah, you did fantastic that day, to the point where you
started
to then implement it on your own, and look at you. You got it now like it's natural.
You're a good instructor, man. You're a good instructor.
And so are you, brother.
You're a great instructor.
I appreciate it.
Hey, we're gonna close it out. What you got to say to the youth, man? Anything you want to close out? Anything you want to say? Anybody you want to thank? Go for it.
Oh man, first of all, I want to appreciate you so much for having me on here. Second of all, I want to appreciate Barbara.
Yeah, shout out to Barbara for connecting us.
For everything that she does. She always just tip top shape. You know, she's the best. So you
Barbara's
know,
our publicist. She is the best.
She is. She's a wonderful woman, and she cares about the people that she has around her, and so we want to care about her, and we just love her to death. So that's another shout out for sure.
I like to beat her up in the gym. I like to hear her scream.
Telling you, hey, she right, hey, she
goes hard though. She goes hard. She goes hard.
Telling you, her and somebody on the street, they wouldn't do so well either. You know what I'm saying? She put somebody on their back if she had to. You know what I'm saying?
Barbara got the
eye. Not just a publicist.
She's not just a publicist. She's half gangster.
Right? She has.
Okay, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah,
no, you good. But just everything else for the youngsters, man. Real shit. Just what we were just talking about today. I think that we said so much about everything. That's all I really want to implement, man. Is just that you have everything in your mind. It's all about being positive. I know if you don't get it right now, I understand. Because I didn't get that shit. I didn't even know that I was being negative when I was being negative. I just knew that people didn't really want to fucking be around me, and I always had a mean ass mug on my face, and I never smiled, and I had different reactions from all different walks of life, and it just wasn't ever good, But once I started to change myself and understand that there was a different way of living, and you can have more confidence in being positive and helping people and not fucking them up and doing all these different ways, you know what I'm saying? Completely changing, man. You will see the benefits of it, man, and that shit was gangster. You know what I'm saying? That's just what's gangster. That's what's dope. You know what I'm saying? Is you taking care of your shit, you taking care of your family, you taking care of your life, you being the best, you eating right, going to the gym, being good with your relationships, everybody that you talk to, making sure that you be the light around all the darkness that you got to be. You know what I'm saying? Because if you just keep being dark, you're just falling into all the rest of the shit. You're just like everybody else. Yeah. So stand out. You know what I'm saying? Be that motherfucker that pushes everybody else into a better way of living and a better way of thinking and a better way. Push yourself into it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only way we can get the other person to go. You know what I'm saying? And for them to understand is by you doing it yourself first, because ain't nobody going to believe a fake teacher. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't doing it, you know what I'm saying, ain't nobody going to follow. So it's up to you. Stay positive, stay believing in yourself, have some confidence to understand that you can do anything you set your mind to, anytime, anywhere, man. It's all up to you. So hope y'all have a blessed day. Hope y'all just keep rising and elevating, man. Go to the top.
Hey, that was awesome. That's a great way to end it. I got nothing else. That was awesome, man. Hey, thank you so much. Stay on, man.
Yes, sir.
Stay on the line. I'm gonna outro, but hey, thank you so much for being on. I think people are really gonna get something out of it.
Thank you for having me, man.
Appreciate that. That's an excellent interview, man. You answered some great questions, man. You did great answers.
Thank you, man.
Peace and love, fam. Watch your diet. Anabolic Mind. We out. Barbara, thanks so much. Coming to get you. See you later, guys. Bye.